Hey, so today I'm going to show you how to stop being the bottleneck of the business and finally be able to scale. And we're going to go through the first step that you need to take to be able to do that. And if you're like, who the hell is this guy, which is a normal question to ask, I've helped a lot of marketing agencies that are in the same problem as you are be able to scale by automating their fulfillment processes. Some of them were able to generate $4 million in pipeline just by creating these automations. So let's get right into. Okay, so first of all, we know that you are the bottleneck of your business. Okay, the way you know it is if all clients know you by name, if whenever you do something or like something happens, everyone goes back to you for like guidance and systems, etc. That means you are still the bottleneck. That means the business cannot grow past you. You're human, like you're limited by time that you have. Okay, and I put my beautiful picture here. So that means your time is limited, which means your business is limited because of you. So this is a problem that we're trying to fix. So how do we do it? And first of all, just like to go through the loop that I see with a lot of business owners is they're very good at sales. That's how they got their first clients, etc. And then in the beginning, you're able to do both because you don't have a lot of clients. So you're doing sales, also doing fulfillment. Now, the problem is the more sales you do, the more fulfillment you have to do. And you get to a point where you get so busy with fulfillment that you cannot do sales, which means that if you do this, your business will tank. Because if you don't have sales, you don't have people coming in, and because of churn, the business is not growing. So what usually happens, you get busy, maybe you create some system, maybe you hire someone, you breathe a little bit, and then boom, back at it again. And you're constantly in this loop where you get some time, you do sales, you get people, you get busy, and all of that. And it feels like a cycle that you're never able to get out of. The things that people use for getting out of this is hiring, tools, and SOPs. So let's talk about hiring, which is something that works. Just to be honest, what we're talking using AI automation, what we're going to be talking about, isn't necessarily the only thing that you can do. You can hire your way out of it. But for you to be able to hire, first, you usually be doing double the work because you need to do the work and also teach someone else the work, which eventually you need to do either way. So that's not a problem. Now, the problem with hiring, it takes a lot of time and you have to get things from here to that person. That's first. People leave generally. So you need to have a very good hiring system, especially if you're in a service business, which is an agency. And that means it's going to take you more time to get those A players, because the A players, you need to pay them more. For you to be able to pay them more, you need money. For you to have money, you need sales. For you to have sales, you need to hire people. For you to hire people, you need to spend a lot of time, teach them. Maybe they're going to go, maybe not. Maybe you're going to find some gems there, but usually it's not going to be, you're not going to be paying them a lot because you're just starting out. So there's this whole thing that takes months and years for people to grow, which is the normal way of how things used to be. Second part is tools, because tools will make things faster, which works. But the problem is tools doesn't fix this problem, because even if you get tools, everything still goes through you. Like if there's a problem, the person will come back to you. Because you're the magic of the business. You're the one who created everything. You're the one who knows the solutions of everything. So maybe you tried to create SOPs. You were like, okay, let me create some SOPs and just show people this. Now, the funny thing about SOPs is people drift back in weeks. And I've managed more than 1,000 people throughout my life. And SOPs doesn't work. Like you need to always remind them. SOPs work as like when you remind them, you don't have to explain everything all over again, but you still have that reminder. And that means you still need to be there in the fulfillment process so that the team doesn't drift out of SOP. So you tried all three, maybe you tried some and you're still stuck. Okay, so let's talk about solution. We're gonna stop like just winging it, but for the solution, this is exactly what works for me. This is not the only way, but this is the system that works. If you've grown your business, that means you're the magic. Everything is in your brain, okay? We need to get that thing from your brain and create a system, not an SOP, which may be the first step. a system that doesn't care if you're feeling good, a system doesn't care whether the employee will follow it because they need to follow it because that's how systems are made. Think of it as kind of like tools. You're going to create your own tools for you to, like, for the team to be able to follow through everything. So that's the first part. First part is getting everything out and then going through the system. We're not going to talk about the system because the system will make it where the work ships without you. What we're going to be doing right now is how can you get everything from your brain into like something, and then we're going to turn it into a system in other videos. So today, this is what we're focusing on. So I'm going to give you an analogy. I love giving an example. Okay, so imagine that you're the chef. You're very good at what you're doing. People come in, love your food, etc. Now, the more people come in, the business will grow until you get to a point where you cannot service these people anymore. You need to hire more cooks. So you go, you hire cooks, and then they shadow you for like a month or 2 or 3 or 6 months, depending on how good you are. And some of them are good, some of them will learn faster, etc. But the recipes of everything still is in your head. There's no recipe book. There's no way to enforce that recipe book. So what that means is the cooks, even if they know what they do, everything still goes through you. They still need you every time. Whenever you're not here, whether you're sick, whether you're just like sleeping for a day or because you deserve some rest or something, the quality of the food or your business, the output will tank. So that's what we're trying to fix, because every plate goes through you. Okay. So, and then of course there's the pass. I don't know if you know a little bit about restaurants, but there is pass. The chef tastes everything in this pass, and then he can send it to the waiter, and the waiter will send it to the tables. So that means you're going to be stuck at the pass, meaning you're always stuck at QAing everything. Even if you have a team, you're always like checking everything. You're always verifying things, whether clients are happy. You always like have this feeling that you're forgetting things, or this feeling that clients will leave you and your business is fragile. So this is the analogy, meaning what we're trying to do here is getting that recipe out of your head. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to go through some action, because it's not just me doodling around. So we're going to use Claude with one prompt. We're going to connect Claude to your tools, and then we're going to get the system map, so also an automation plan. So we're going to get how are we going to take these things and create a system around them. Okay. So if you're skeptical about connecting your tools to Claude, I have nothing to say to you, to be honest. I understand that, but like this is eventually the way we're going to do business. It's kind of like people being skeptical of using their credit card on apps. But right now we do it all the time. So you're going to get used to it. This is the new way of where things are going. If you don't use AI right now, your business will just not grow, or it may grow, but you're going to get outshadowed by another business that uses AI. So yeah, but assuming that you don't have a problem connecting these tools to Claude, we're going to go through the whole thing so that instead of, even if you hire a new person, it's going to be very easy for you to like teach them. Even if you have like a new client, it's going to be very easy for that client to get onboarded, to serve that client, etc. Because we don't rely on you anymore. You're not the center of the business anymore. You can finally take those days off without having to constantly check Slack every few seconds. You can either use Cowork, you can also use chat, you can use code. I use code all the time, but I'm going to use Cowork just because it's easier for everyone. If you don't know how to use it, you can watch a few videos. It takes a second, but for these purposes, you don't even have to watch any video. It's very simple. So you just go to custom. You go here and you connect your apps. So let's say you're using a recorder. So that could be Fireflies or like your calls. You connect it. If you're using Fathom, you connect it. If you're using other things like whoever, like Gmail, you connect Gmail. If you're using Slack, we're going to connect it. Google Drive, we're going to connect it. Maybe we don't need calendar. If you're using maybe Monday or ClickUp, you can connect it. So what we're trying to do here, your tool stack, we're going to try to connect everything. The reason for that is I'm not going to try to get that knowledge out of your head because it's going to take days. We're going to have AI do it. The way AI will do it is by getting all those things that you already built. So that could be SOPs from the past. That could be processes that you created, like you have some brand stuff and anything that we can use, any tool, any platform, like literally anything will give us that data in terms of how you work. Another thing that is good is like the Fathom calls, because it's going to show, for example, your onboarding calls, your calls with the team. It's going to show the problems. It's going to surface all of that things that even maybe you didn't even realize that exist. And another thing is like ClickUp. Maybe if you're using it as like project management, it's going to show you all the project that you have, the way you work, the SOPs that you have there. So we're going to connect everything. That's up to you how many things you want to connect. In this case, I'm connected to Slack, connected to Fathom because that's what I use. And I'm connected to Gmail and Google Drive, I believe. So the way to connect, fairly simple. You just go boom, plus, and then you connect. You authorize the account and then you just connect to it. In this case, I'm not going to do it, but because I'm already connected, but this is the first step that you need to do. Okay, so after you connected everything, you're just going to go to new task. You're going to click on here and you're going to paste the prompt. So this prompt, you can take a screenshot of it. So essentially you have access to my business through my connected tools. Do this, read my last 20 Fathom transcripts, sales, onboarding, etc. Now here you can turn it into 100 or like 200 or everything. And you can also have it go through everything, like all your Gmail or your Slack. For the sake of this video, just to make it shorter, I'm putting 20. But you don't have to only do 20. Then map every system in my business: lead gen, sales, onboarding, fulfillment, reporting, client comms, QA, admin for each. What is it? Where the knowledge lives, exactly how to automate it, and roughly how much time it saves. And then output would be a visual systems map, a written automation plan for my team. This is just for me, just so that it doesn't show clients information, but for you, you don't have to paste this, by the way, here. But yeah, we're gonna make sure we're on Opus because it's smartest, and then boom, send it. So it's going to be connecting to the tools, and then probably will ask us a few questions. We're going to get back to it after it does that. As you can see, it's asking me a few questions, like this is just permissions. So I'm just going to click allow. Okay, so I got the response here, which is very, very cool. And we can take this and turn it into any format that we want. So what did Claude give us here? So it went from all the calls, Slacks, and emails, just like the recent ones. I have like 500 recorded calls, so I can give it more, and it's going to give me, of course, more context. But in those, we have, for example, core systems. There's like fulfillment, sales, onboarding, etc. Then it's going to go through all of them, show me all the problems, etc. And then it's going to show me time saved at a glance, so that you know how much time we're saving here. And then rollout order. Now, one thing I can do, I can tell it, can you make the fulfillment one, create from it both a flow chart of how to automate that and a scope for a developer to build me. Now, this is like the recipe. This is kind of like an SOP, but more advanced. What we want to turn this into system. A system is usually an automation, or it can be a platform. A platform could be this platform. I'm going to show you exactly. But this is a platform that I created that has all the things about my business, like the recording, flows, like it has a lot of things, leads, clients, etc., project tasks. This is like a platform that I use for fulfillment purpose. So just get a developer and show him what I'm showing you here, what we're going to create here, which is a flow chart, because then it's scope, or give him a scope to build this for us so that he can give us a code. So this is showing me a scope of what to do. And this is something I'm doing, as I said. like exactly QA, what do we QA, etc. And I can go a little bit into details about this. I hope this makes sense. Like, this is a huge thing. This is one of the biggest solutions to your problem if you're in the fulfillment. Don't get me wrong, this is not going to be easy. I'm just showing you the blueprint. This is going to be hard, but if you now want to scale your business to double your client capacity, to get more scale, etc., this is the way to do it, so that even if you hire, it's not like, hey, here's 50 SOPs, let's do 20 coaching calls. It's like, hey, you can just use this tool. This tool will already do 95%. The only thing I want you to do is do this, do that. That's about it. And then it's super easy to explain.